In a world of BS, intention is everything. Driven mofos, you know the deal. Welcome back to another episode of The Underestimated Entrepreneur. Well, massive shout out to everyone who's been rating and reviewing this podcast. I just hopped onto Apple and I was just scrolling through then and I thought, whoa, our star ratings have gone up. We're cranking. So thank you for all of those. And massive shout out to those who actually wrote a review. So C. Frenchie, great podcast to listen to. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Ricky D said, if you love this podcast and get value from it, I recommend doing Michael's event. Thrive Time, it will change how you live. And then also someone wrote here, great value on the 16th of May, but it's got, and instead of a name, it's got a bunch of gibberish in there, but it says, in the world of gurus and experts, it is nice to have someone who practices what they preach. So whoever wrote those, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. For those of you who have been rating the podcast and giving us a star rating on Apple, I opened it up and I went, well, we've grown a bit. And then I opened up Spotify and shit, this community is wicked. We've gone up in the last week, I think, by like 20 or 25 reviews. So thank you for all of you who have been rating and reviewing this podcast. It makes a massive difference. Like my team were stoked when I showed them. So thank you all. All right, let's get into today's podcast. I was just on a call with one of my clients who is working with me on building their coaching brand. And we're getting into how do you create content? What do you do with your content? And this is a common message I get from so many people who have business pages, who run businesses, even people who just want to build a better brand because they want brand endorsement deals or they might want free products. Maybe they want to become an influencer. And when I say an influencer, most people think about these crazy high-level influencers that have millions of followers. But you can be a micro-influencer. Like you can be a mum with 2 kids and love your kids so much that you just want to promote great products. That is an amazing way through a blog, through a podcast, through your social media. And there are plenty of businesses that will pay you good money to do that. There are plenty of coaches who reach out to me and say, look, I want to blow up my coaching brand online. How do I do it? I get people who reach out to me who have 500,000 followers, but they make $0 and they want to know how to monetize it. So anyway, I was working with one of my clients today who is working with me on her coaching program. And we were talking about content and posting. And the real important part there is, when I was speaking to her about it, I said, I can tell that you're spending a lot of time just creating this epic content, and it's great. But what I want to see more of is just you authentically you. Now, the example that I gave is, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you'll be able to tell my good days, my bad days, when I'm pissed off, when I'm angry, when I'm frustrated, when I feel inspired. You know, like right now, I feel really grateful because I go and listen to my own podcast because I like to not only hear about what I talk about, but also if I can tweak anything and make changes. And I want to better every podcast that I do, essentially. I was listening to the podcast earlier today and I had a look and I looked at the reviews and everything like that because I check them normally once a week. And seeing that so many of you rated and reviewed the podcast made me really inspired. Like I'm really appreciative. So the way I present today might not be the way I presented yesterday or 3 days ago or a week ago. It depends on my mood. Now, it's probably not a mood, it's just my emotional state at the time. Sometimes I'm just pissed off because I get pissed off with people that don't want to grow, that don't want to step up to a greater level, that don't want to push themselves. And if you listen to the last podcast or yesterday's episode, I spoke about my best friend's 3-year-old niece being killed in a car accident. And I think that there is this huge weight on my shoulders where I feel like she gave me my life that day. Before that, I was a fucking dropkick. I used to drink every weekend. I'm out partying. I never took drugs, but I used to hang out with a lot of people who did. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I was sort of living this monotonous life where I wasn't enjoying it. I was a diesel mechanic at the time. I wasn't in a good place, to be honest. And it was a wake-up call. And that wake-up call was my greatest gift to live a life. I think part of the reason why I'm so driven and so aggressive in my pursuits is because maybe there's part of me that still feels like I owe my life for a reason because she never got to live that. But anyway, I was talking to this client and I said, look, the great thing about this community is that you get to experience me. I'm just a normal person. Like, I'm nothing special. I'm just a normal fucking person, right? I swear too much, probably. Some of you like it, some of you don't. When you got kids in the car, this can't be listened to. Some of you listen to it with your kids and you love it. That's what I love about building a community of people that I like. Like, I love running my events. I was talking to another one of my clients last week and she went to this event with a large scale speaker. She said to me, the speaker walked in, sat down the back of the room at this event, which he promotes, So he obviously promotes this other event on wealth creation and so on, which is run by different people. But he sat down the back of the room. She said none of his audience came to speak to him. None of his clients really connected with him, and nor did he go out of his way to talk to anybody. He literally just isolated himself. And she said, the thing that she appreciates, she's probably listening to this now, she knows who she is. But she said, the thing I appreciate you is that you come and hang out with everybody. And I said to her, that's because I actually enjoy the people that I work with. I am the way that I am because I want to be appreciated and respected for who I am, not what people want me to be. I've seen people who do that. I've seen influencers do that. I have seen speakers do that. They don't enjoy their community. I know business owners who hate the people that they work for or that they get jobs from. I don't. I love my community. Like my one-on-one clients, they literally rock up at my house to do one-on-one sessions, and I'll make them coffee and sometimes I feed them, or we'll go out and we'll grab food. Like I wake up every day with this need to want to enjoy life. And it's hard to enjoy life when you're doing things or working around people that you don't enjoy. And I've had people over the years who say, Michael swears too much. I don't like him because he acts this way, he does this. But you know what? They don't have to be around me. Prior to 15, I tried changing for everybody else because I so badly wanted to fit in at school. I so badly wanted to have a friendship circle that just accepted me for me. And when I got expelled from school, I sat there with a kitchen knife, tears running down my face, with the sharp knife sitting on my wrist because I was about to end everything. I hated my life so much because I'd become something that I didn't like just to try to fit in. And I would never go back there. I would never go back there for money. So when people say, if you speak this certain way, if you act this certain way, and if you behave in a certain way, then you would probably make more money or you'd have more followers. I go, cool, I don't want more followers. I don't want more money. What I want is I want to be able to enjoy my life every day. And I've watched people not enjoy their life because they have adapted for everybody else. That's why I share myself on social media in all my different forms. And some people will never come to my events. They're like, oh, this guy can't control his emotions, but I can control my emotions. It's just that if I'm frustrated in a moment, I will let it out and I'll say what I have to say and then I move on with things. As a young person, when I got angry, I would be angry for weeks, and to the point where I would smash holes in walls. I was hyper aggressive. I used to get in fights at pubs, hence why I've had my nose broken, which is still broken. I got to go and get that fixed soon. My front teeth got smashed, hence my porcelain veneers. The scar on the side of my head was from a glass bottle getting smashed over my head. I used to be that stupid. And that was because I couldn't control my emotions, which is why now personal development has been the greatest gift that I've ever had. And it's the greatest gift that I can give the world. If I can help people to develop themselves and better themselves mentally and emotionally, I know that you can achieve anything you want because I've been able to achieve something. From the person who grew up in a low socioeconomic area with teenage parents and not being able to afford basketball shoes to now having a McLaren in the garage and being able to take it to car shows. And I let kids sit in my car or people sit in my car. Like I take people out for drives and shit. I don't have to do that. I feel no moral obligation to be something for somebody else. I do it because I enjoy it. If you've been in my community for long enough and you're someone who has achieved things and I find you inspiring, I'll normally hang out with you. Like I'll go out and we'll have lunch, or I go pick you up in my car and we go out. That's what I enjoy doing. I don't feel a moral obligation to do that, nor do I feel a moral obligation to let children sit in my car. But I do it because I want to inspire people. I want to be appreciated for the things that I'm highly competent and skilled at. But what my point is that I can control myself. I can control my emotions because of where I came from. Am I perfect? I don't even know what the fuck that means because I've never met anyone who is perfect. And every time I've seen a perfect person on social media, their life ends up falling apart and everyone else stands around and goes, see, I knew it. Everyone knows that people are full of shit when they pretend that they're perfect. I'm not perfect. I get angry, I get frustrated, I get sad, I get upset. I am kind, I am calm. I'm all different emotions, right? I'm all parts. That's what the greatest speakers and the greatest philosophers have said throughout the dawn of time. You have to be all parts. People get angry. Like I watch Jess get angry. Her anger is different to my anger. I get angry and I express it. She gets angry and she shuts down. She's still angry. That anger festers inside of her, whereas mine just comes out and then it's over and done with and I move forward. So everybody gets angry. It's just they have different ways of expressing it. So what my point is if you ever go to a personal development event and they tell you can get rid of your fear, you can get rid of anger, you can get rid of sadness, you can get rid of guilt, you can get rid of shame. You can break through patterns, but that doesn't mean that you'll never have it. It'll come up in different forms throughout life. I don't get angry like I used to get angry. I'd get angry about the smallest things. Someone cuts me off when I'm driving and I would flip out for like 2 days. Now someone cuts me off, I get pissed off for 2 minutes. I might call them a wanker or something and then I'm over, it's done. What I found is that it's most important to be yourself. And what I explained to the client is if you're putting content out on social media, you have to show all sides of yourself. You have to show your funny side. You have to show your caring side. You have to show your nurturing side. You have to show your aggressive side. You have to show all the parts of yourself, because then that way people appreciate you or like you because you are yourself. Now, if people don't like you for being that way, then it already tells you that they're probably not worth hanging out with, and they're probably not part of wanting to have in your business or whatever, especially as a coach when you're dealing with people one-on-one all the time. You don't want people who want you to be something that you're not, because you're never going to work well together. The statement that I gave was intention is everything. My intention is I want to help people. Now, do I help people by being aggressive towards people? Yeah, because sometimes people, like if you're a parent and you're weak as shit to your kids, you're probably doing more damage than good, because every parent knows that you need to set firm boundaries, because most kids can't self-regulate, especially their emotions and their fears. So what do we need? We need someone who sets boundaries. We need someone who's a bit more authoritative. Now, normally are mums and dads different in how they approach parenting? Yeah. Male figures are normally more authoritative and mothers are more nurturing. But that doesn't mean those roles can't shift. Gender is more of a masculine, feminine type thing, which is more fluid. It's on a scale. So a father who can be masculine for most of the time can also be feminine nurturing. But it's just, how do they naturally approach parenting? Now, all humans need that in order to grow. So as a great coach, I have to have a nurturing side, but I also have to have an authoritative side. Sometimes I get pissed off and I go, right, I need to smack people right between the eyes because they need a wake-up call. And then other days I come in where I'm inspired. Other days I come in where I'm nurturing. And I explain this to my client and she's like, that's great. And I said, why? You've been in the community for a long time, and she's a very feminine woman as well. And I said, why do you stay in my community? It's because I am who I am. She gets what she gets. She gets the strong masculine Michael, but she also gets the nurturing Michael. And I know when to wear those caps. That's what they get. There is just so much bullshit online that we see straight through it. You know, there's a guy who reached out to me. He's got 1 million followers. And he reached out. He said, brother, how did you monetize? How did you make money from like what you do? And he said, do you have like some affiliate marketing thing? Like, do you have another business? And I said, no, I just do coaching. And yeah, I've got some investments and stuff off to the side, but I make all my money from coaching and then I put it into my investments. And I guess they self-perpetuate. I've never taken money out of my investments. I just leave them there and everything grows. He said, but you know, how did you do that? And I said, well, I just create products and programs. And he said, but like, I've got 1 million followers. And I said, I'm looking at your shit and it's all perfect. Like your life looks like it's amazing. You're standing in front of beautiful cars. You're around beautiful women. Like you've got that perfect Miami lifestyle. Like what's going on? And he said, oh man, just to tell you, I worked with another coach and they said to buy followers. So most of my followers are fake. And I said, well, there you go. There's your first problem. And I said, look, I understand because I got a heap of followers, new followers earlier this year. They were bots. Like I got smashed with bots, smashed. And so my numbers went through the roof and people were reaching out and they're like, bro, your numbers blew up. And I'm like, yeah, but most of them are bots. Like I know that they're bots, but I did also get a heap of other followers as well. But my point is if you're fake, that's cool. But everyone knows that you're fake. So it's going to impact your ability to sell a product or a program because people know you're fake. So you might have the world's best, most beautiful looking Instagram page. You're only going to sell shit to fake people. So fake people love buying fake shit off of fake idiots. That's how it works. So if you're real, you're going to have real people who buy real shit. Now, sometimes people want to buy fake shit. The world goes through stages. But right now, intention is everything. You need to have an intention. If you're posting on social media, if you're on social media, if you have a podcast, if you're a business owner, the more authentic you can be, the more you can understand your own personal success map in life, the more you are clear with your mission, your vision, and your values, the more you prioritize those into your life, the more you live an epic life, the more you start to attract people that are like you into your life, and the more you enjoy it. So imagine this. Imagine waking up in the morning where you have already built a life that you love to live. Your work, you get paid to do what you love, and then you spend time with people who make you a better person. That's amazing. That's what happens when you build a good business with a good team of people who get who you are as a person and who understand you. That also happens when you bring in the right clients as well. Do I work with everybody who just gives me money? And the answer is no. I have plenty of people who reach out to me. I normally explore the opportunity of working together, but that doesn't mean that they get the right to work with me just because you pay me. That's not how it works. I have to know that I can work with you. I have to know that I can get you the result. If we're not going to work together and we're not going to match, and the way that I operate best isn't the way that you want me to operate, we're not going to work together. So when I work one-on-one with people, I let them know, like, we're probably going to do a lot of work having coffees and sitting at the dinner table or, like, we're going to go hang out and we're going to get work done. So if you don't like rocking up at my house at 10 o'clock in the morning to do work, and we hop in the car and we drive to the cafe and we eat breakfast and have a coffee and stuff while we're doing work, then that's not going to work. If you want me to sit in a dark, dingy office and work, that ain't going to work, because that's not how you get the best out of me. I will be at 30% my capacity, versus you're going to get 100% when I'm at a cafe or when I'm hanging out with someone that I like and we're enjoying ourselves. And so I get to work with the best clients because that's how we all work best. Sometimes I've had clients who take me out for a round of golf just because they're like, let's go have a game of par 3. And we go and we talk about what's going on with them while we're playing golf, and they love it and it's worth every cent to them. Now, a lot of people, that doesn't make sense, but that's okay. They're happy to go sit in a therapist's office and just talk about shit in this dingy environment that makes them feel depressed and uninspired. That's not how I work best. Now, this comes back to the key thing, which is intention is everything. How do you have the right intention? Well, first of all, you have to be yourself. You've got to get clear with who you are. The second thing is you've got to have an intention to every action that you take. If you're waking up in the morning and you're like, I have to go to work because I have to make money and I have to do this job, then your intention is just to make money. That's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to make you live an enjoyable life. In fact, you'll make money and probably blow it based on what I've seen, right? From working with people who just work for money. If your intention is to go to work and be the best you can be, then you're probably going to enjoy the day. If your intention is to go to work and develop yourself personally and professionally and mentally by taking on adversity, by overcoming challenges, you're going to be even better. And then if you love doing what you do and eventually over time you set your life up in a way where you can win, you're going to crush it. And so my feedback to this client was, when you create stuff on social media, if you feel like you have to post stuff, then your intention is wrong. If you post things because you go, I think it's fucking cool and I think other people will enjoy it, or I think that it's so cool that I have to share it with the world, or I think this information is so great someone has to hear it, then your intention is right. So have that intention versus my intention is to have the perfect photo so that I can get 1 million followers or 1 million likes. Maybe that's cool, but how do you monetize that? How do you build a client base? Like if I post someone with massive boobs and bum and a great body, yeah, I'm probably going to get a lot of views and probably a lot of likes. But that doesn't mean I'm going to make a lot of money. It doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy life. It doesn't mean that I'm valued as a person. It just means that I get likes. Like that's the metric. So look, ladies and gentlemen, intention is everything. Set your intention, get things clear, be yourself and be the best you can be. And I guarantee your life will change. Getting clear with yourself and building a great success map is the greatest thing that you'll ever do. And it will free you to be yourself. But you've always got to be working on yourself as well, because we've got to keep chipping away all the stuff that's not ourselves. A lot of people think they do a little bit of personal development and then all of a sudden, everything just works. That's the fantasy of idiots. That's not how it works. That's like me going to the gym and having the best workout of my life, or maybe even doing a week's worth of workouts and they're the best workouts I've ever had, and then just completely quitting, or, you know, every month going and maybe doing one training session. Of course I'm going to look like shit. Why will your brain look good? Why will your mindset look good? And why will your life look good if you don't do the work every day? Like listening to this podcast is hopefully helping you to do a little bit of work every day on your mindset, helping you to shift your perspectives, helping you to shift your views a little bit. If you keep developing that skill and then you start investing more in yourself, like maybe doing Thrive Time or reading some more books or going to some other courses, the more that you invest in your mindset over time, your life becomes better. I know the greatest investment I've ever made is in myself. The greatest investment I ever made was committing to doing personal growth and personal development. And yeah, I spend a shitload of money now, but I spent more than what I could afford even back when I first started. From my first program that I bought, which was an audio product, which was $229, and I had $230 in my bank account. I'm living at home with my parents. I was in my 20s. I'd just broken up, I had a relationship bust up, and so that's why I moved back at home with mum and dad. Me and mum never used to get along, and my life was shit. I used to drink way too much, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to put fuel in the car to get to work, or petrol in the car to get to work, or I was going to invest in myself. And that day, I made the decision to invest in myself, and it was the greatest investment I ever made. I didn't realize the impact that it would have almost 20 years later. If I didn't do that, I doubt I'd have a McLaren. I doubt I'd live in a multi-million-dollar house. I doubt that I would have a wife. I doubt that I would have a wife who is my best friend and one of the most amazing people that I've ever met. And yeah, we go through and we argue and we fight. But man, our communication, our relationship skills to come back together and go, right, what happened? How do we work through it? How do we make it better? Is phenomenal. And because of that, we both get better, which is how a relationship should work. You take two individuals, you put them together and you end up with something better, versus you put two people together and you end up with something worse. That's not a good relationship. So my point is, you set the intention, you build yourself, and you keep building yourself, and you work on it all the time, and you keep developing, and your life will be completely different. It'll be a game changer. But intention is everything. Set that intention every day with every action and watch what happens. Anyway, Driven Mofos, thank you once again. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the effort and the energy that you all put into yourself to want to better yourself. Like, it's easy to stick your head up your ass and think that everything's going to be okay and that it'll work out in the future. It very rarely does, right? That's most people in society. To sit here and listen to a podcast, to want to better yourself, to come to my events or go to other people's events, to read books. It's hard to do that when there's so much other shit you could be doing. But what you're saying is, my intention is to better myself. And that's the thing that makes your life great. So give yourself huge credit for that. I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Most people waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them.